has a buy, 295. Happy Friday, Ben. Good to see you.
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day, guys.
What do you think? What moved the needle this week on Apple's narrative? Do you think?
Well, I think China's a big deal, like getting AI momentum there. We've heard from Apple that when AI features are out, they see an uptick in sales. We even heard from Qualcomm on the Android side that when AI features are out in China, we see an uptick in sales. And you're seeing it with Huawei. So Apple's going to get the same thing once they get this out. And there was a narrative they couldn't do it. And to be allied with the best of Alibaba and the best of Baidu on the search side, it sounds like a great combo. And look, Tim Cook has a great relationship with China. And people forget that. So 20% of sales has a chance of turning to growth once they get this out. That's a big deal, and it's within an investable time frame.
So these third-party surveys about how consumers were unimpressed with Apple Intelligence features, you think that's a thing of the past?
Well, I think they continue to iterate. I think it's nothing's ever perfect, and there's always, when Apple does anything, there's a microscope on this company. I mean, if there is any fly in any ointment, you hear about it. Unlike any other company, these guys make the best products in the world. Yes, this one has a little more publicity than some others, but I think they'll iron it all out. And there's some features incrementally as we go that get better and better. And I think we'll see a big uptick with the 17 as well.
You mentioned, of course, that Cook is close with China. Is he close enough to Trump? And I ask this because I know last time around they were able to get an exemption around some of these tariffs, and it doesn't seem like that may be the case this time around. What do your channel checks say?
Well, he has a good relationship with Trump. He was at the inauguration, and I think he's impressed Trump in the past, and he is very good with these state leaders, whether it's ours or other international leaders. I think that in terms of tariffs, Apple will obviously get hit by them. We don't have margins going up too much, but they have a lot of things going their way in terms of margins to offset tariffs. They have a positive mix shift, we think, that's going to happen when the iPhones come out later this year. They're going to insource more components, such as the modems, such as even certain other chips, and that's going to insulate margins as well. But they're going to mix people up to higher prices, and then the mix shift towards services continues, so that's just math. So I think that they have a good chance of even expanding margins slightly, but tariffs are a risk. And if that happens, we're going to really hope that we get our revenue growth going and they buy back more stock. But they have a lot of levers. Don't ever count out the levers. This company can always buy back more stock.
The kind of tease of the new SE model iPhone, I mean, is that a needle mover, or is it just kind of we knew it was coming and it's going to fill in a certain slot in the lineup?
I don't think it's a huge needle mover, but it'll be probably a higher margin version because they have some components that they've insourced, such as the modem and other things. I think that this will be Apple Intelligence ready. So it's a little bit of razor and blades. The more they get these SEs out, and it's a good design, it's a worthy upgrade for the low end. You're planning the razor to sell the services blades later on, and so that is important for us. The big launch, though, that's coming is later this year with the iPhone Air and other redesigns that cause potentially people to mix up to higher prices, and units grow at least a little bit. Then we get our 10% revenue growth. And the stock works.
What's your read on valuation and multiples relative to the rest of the Mag 7? Does Apple deserve where they are?
Absolutely deserves where they are. They have real free cash flow. Their share count actually goes down. It's not, look, within the Mag 7, there's several of the comps that you have where the free cash flow is well below earnings, and it might be for a while. Now, that's great and all if it accelerates revenue growth, but you asked the right question, though, Mag 7. You got to comp this to other Mag 7s, and they have real free cash flow where it's a real buyback that really lowers share count. Microsoft, for example, is just kind of buys back enough stock to keep their share count flat. A lot of these software-type companies really give out tons of options. This is a real buyback with real cash flow that is showing, hey, we're a toll road to AI. We don't have to invest like you do, and I think it's a worthy multiple.
And are they, would you argue they're unencumbered on capex the way some of their rivals?
Absolutely.
Or not?
They can mix and match. So they have privacy servers. They're probably going to do their own, work on some chips for their own data centers. But they don't have to spend like the other guys. They can do an asset light model and pawn off capex to the Googles and Baidus and Alibabas and others. Right. And that's the best way to be. And they're a toll road to your hand, to the mobile device. And as long as they do that a good job with that, they're going to win.
You touched a little bit on AI and just the overall implications. How are you, now that we've had some time to digest the whole DeepSeek phenomenon, how do you see the chips falling and the potential benefit for Apple? And then do you see any other risks out there that they may fall into?
Well, the knee-jerk reaction to DeepSeek, and now that we've had a chance, is Apple should benefit from a lower cost of compute.
Right.
And it should improve the margins of like their services business, right? And so that's great. And it should allow more innovation even in apps and things they don't even make themselves. And then they benefit by being a toll road to mobile glory, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's great for them. The more AI use and the more that can get into the phone, the more you're going to need edge processing, which is they're really good at. And privacy is going to become a bigger issue. And their bet on privacy is probably going to look smarter and smarter as we get going on this AI thing. So I'm pretty positive that DeepSeek creates more innovation, more apps, and Apple's a winner. And they're in a good spot for that.
Yeah, and certainly privacy's been one of their at least their framing of privacy has been their hallmark.
It's going to be a big deal. You're going to, and hopefully they really help us because there's going to be a lot of threats out there to your privacy. And I feel like Apple's a good guy on our side for that and going to be a trusted, and it's going to help their brand.